Hey everyone, welcome back to Phoenix Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to go from here to here, turning that bone marrow into a creamy compound butter that we can put in the fridge and bring out on those days when we really need to spice up something like a steak. Let me show you how we got from one to the other. I'm your host, Stacy Williams, and here we go. Alright, so the secret ingredient that makes this compound butter so wonderful for steaks, so velvety, and the reason they call it the butter of the gods, it's bone marrow. So the first thing that we need are some bones. You can pick these up usually at a local butcher. If you're in an area like me where there's not a real butcher, only what Walmart and Kroger passes off as meat, you can order online. When I order online, I use Porter Roads. This is not a sponsor thing. I just happen to buy from there. The quality is great. I paid $10 for this pack. It comes with 2 pieces. They're double vacuum sealed. They arrive wonderfully preserved. So I go ahead and get these things opened up. And we're going to put them in a pan, get a little seasoning on. We're going to smoke them because we want to add some smoke flavor to that marrow. This can be done in the oven if you're not interested in a smoke flavor. Obviously, using them for different purposes, you may not be interested in that. But I'm going to go ahead and smoke it since I've got my smoker lit today for other projects. So I'm going to put these in the pan, drizzle with some olive oil, and then just hit them with some salt and pepper. That's it. We're really not worried about seasoning here because it's going to be seasoned in the butter. Now, I'm salting here because I'll be using unsalted butter once we make our dish. So let's go ahead and get these things all seasoned up and get them onto the smoker. Alright, these are all nestled in amongst the things cooking on the smoker. They're going to sit there for about 2 hours. So while that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the ingredients ready. We're going to grab a stick of butter. We're going to crisp up a piece of bacon. And I mean super crispy. We want to cook it nice and slow so that it gets as crispy as possible. About 4 cloves of garlic. And then, 3 to 4 tablespoons of parsley. We're going to add just a pinch of salt because, like I said, I'm using unsalted butter. If you use salted butter, you won't need that. And then I'm going to add just a bit of rosemary and thyme. I'm not looking for those to be powerful flavors, but I do want them in. Alright, so we blended everything up in the food processor just to let all the food start getting happy, let those aromas start melding together. And our 2 hours have passed with that sitting there waiting, and our bones are ready. That marrow has cooked through and started to release the juices. If you notice, rather than setting those just directly on the smoker, I did put them in a little aluminum pan. That's because I want to catch any juices that come off of those. We don't want to waste that. That's what gives us that beautiful, velvety, umami taste. The beef flavor is so amazing. It's the reason bone-in steaks and bone-in roast taste so much better than their boneless counterparts. Because as you cook, those same juices are released and able to get into the meat. So we're going to go ahead and get those bones out. And you can see a little of the juice there in the pan. We're just going to get that poured straight into the container. Then we're going to scrape the marrow from the bones. And then we're just going to process this until we come out with a nice, creamy, velvety texture. Almost a whipped cream type texture. All right, and after a few minutes in the food processor, we're going to go ahead and just wrap this into some plastic wrap. for storage in the fridge. We'll roll it up into a little chub. It'll firm back up. That way we can just pull it out as needed and cut off pieces just like we would a regular stick of butter. One thing about it, you can see it is so smooth and creamy right now. And the smell is amazing. You get the aromatics from the beefiness, from the rosemary, the thyme, the parsley, the garlic just hitting you in the face. It is absolutely wonderful to smell. Now, because we spent so much time, I mean, think about it, 2 hours to smoke these things, and then going through all the trouble of making this, we're going to make sure that we get every bit out of here. So in addition to spooning out that first part, I'm going to grab a little spatula, make sure I can get down in all the corners, and get that thing just as clean as possible, because I want every single drop of this. It is absolutely that good. Now, before making a video like this and giving the recipe to you all, I wanted to make sure, is this worthy of you having this recipe? Is it worth your time? So here is a Denver steak that I did a while back and used the butter. The guys tested it, tasted it. It was absolutely amazing. But more importantly, I wanted to know, could I possibly use a steak that was so cheap and so overcooked and make it worth eating if I put this on? So I went to the store and found this cheap thin sirloin steak, cooked it as well done as I could possibly stand it, and put it on. And I'll tell you, it worked. It really did. Now keep in mind, the one thing that this butter will not fix is texture. When you buy a steak with no real fat content and you cook it to well done, it's still a chewy steak. However, this thing had so much flavor and moisture because of this butter. Absolutely amazing. Thanks for joining us today. See you in the next video. We're giving away a 5-piece cast iron lodge cookware set when we hit 1,000 subscribers. All you have to do is like a video and subscribe to the channel to be entered in the giveaway.